Would you please state your name for the record?
Here, Dwayne Whitehead.
Where are you employed?
Oncore,
And how long have you been there?
26 years.
In what capacity?
Say again?
In what capacity are you employed at Oncore?
What you mean by what capacity?
What's your job?
I'm a troubleshooter
A troubleshooter. And how long have you been a troubleshooter?
for about 8 years now.
Okay, what do you do as a troubleshooter?
I troubleshoot allergies. I troubleshoot allergies. When the lights is out, I go out and troubleshoot.
Okay, outages.
Yeah.
Were you troubleshooting on March 13th of 2019?
Yes.
And in around, I mean, do you work around Arlington or just all over the place?
When it storms, it's all over the place. When it's a normal day, I'm around Arlington, Mansfield, Fort Worth, Hurst, Bedford.
Okay. I know there was a storm on the morning of about 4:35 to 4:45 in Arlington on March 13th of 2019. Is that right?
Yes.
And as soon as the storm happens, you usually get customers reporting outages.
Yes.
I had an outage last night at about 11 o'clock. First thing I do is call in. Is that the way it works at Oncore?
Yes.
Do y'all have a system that detects outages in addition to consumer calls?
Yes.
What is that?
Well, with smart meters, for individual customers or whatever, then we got the main line. We got main line, then, we got substations, all that type of stuff. So.
Okay. So Oncore has notice when outages occur in addition to customers calling in.
Yes.
I skipped this. Let me just ask you, what is your education and background? What training do you have and what education?
Well, I graduated from high school, and as for education, for the job, I had to go through 5 years of CAPS to do what I'm doing now, and alignment. So about 5 years of CAPS training classes, transformer classes, to that nature.
And was all of that done through Oncore?
Through Oncore, yes.
Okay, are you a lineman?
No, I'm not a lineman. I'm a troubleshooter. I was a lineman.
Okay, I don't understand that. Is a troubleshooter above a lineman?
Yes.
Okay, so you've advanced from being a lineman to a troubleshooter, and who repairs the lines?
The line crews.
And who notifies them that lines need to be repaired at Oncore?
As a troubleman, when we go out, we find lines that need to be repaired. The troubleshooters report it, make up the work orders.
Okay. What did they teach you in your training and experience? By the way, where'd you go to high school?
Mahia, Texas.
Mahia. What did they train you at Oncore about emergency situations?
About emergency situations, we assess our equipment. We make our equipment safe.
And when you say equipment, are you talking about electrical power lines?
Yes, anything that got to do with our equipment.
Okay. And how many volts are running through the lines that were damaged on March 13th of 2019 in the area of 4,000 block of I-20 in Arlington?
Before the outages?
Yeah.
Before the outages?
Yes.
14,000.
14,000 volts?
Yes, on the main line, yes.
Okay. How many main lines were on the poles that were damaged?
3 main lines.
So 3 14,000 volt lines, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And you were about to tell me what it was when you got on the scene.
Where the feeder was locked out. So when the feeder is locked out, there's no power. The lines are de-energized.
When the feeder is locked out or knocked out?
Locked out.
Who locks it?
The storm damage.
Okay, so you have a procedure where if the storm damage locks out a feeder, it de-energizes the line.
Yes.
So it's your opinion that these lines were de-energized at the time of the collision with the cars into the lines.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I was asking you about your training. What were you trained regarding emergency situations with highline wires?
Well, my training was to get to the emergency situation and make our equipment, if it's damaged or not damaged, safe.
Okay. How about safety for the public? What were you trained about that?
Safety for the public, we put out cones, caution tape.
Right. And in what circumstances did they train you to put out cones and caution tape?
Anytime it's an outage.
And is that something you're supposed to do immediately or upon arrival at the scene?
When we leave our truck, we have our truck's cone, and if we have to put out caution tape, we put out caution tape if our lines is on the ground. Anything that's damaged on the ground.
Okay. What if your lines are just sagging below the standard that they're required to be? What about if your lines weren't on the ground, but they're sagging below the acceptable level under the NEC code? What was your training to do?
If the lines are sagging
Mm-hmm.
in the air,
Yeah.
like I say, put out cones.
Okay. What is that all they taught you to do at Oncore is put out cones?
It depends on the situation.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about a situation. First of all, what did they train you about how high voltage lines were supposed to be over at highway?
I don't know that answer. I don't know freeway crossing measurements.
Okay. So as the troubleshooter on March 13th of 2019, you are not trained by Oncore to know the required height of power lines, high voltage power lines over a highway.
Over freeway crossing, I don't know that answer.
Right. And I'm not trying to blame you. I'm saying Oncore never trained you. That's why you don't know that answer.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay. Why didn't you know the answer?
I don't know the measurements for freeway crossings.
And I understand that you don't know. I'm saying the reason you don't know is because you weren't trained in that by Oncore.
No, I'm not saying that neither.
Okay, what are you saying?
I'm saying I don't know the measurements for the freeway crossing at this time.
On the day that you went out as the troubleshooter on March 13th of 2019, you had no idea how high or how low the acceptable level for high voltage lines were to be.
Our lines was high enough when that poles was broke.
Yeah, I'm not talking about when the poles were broke. I'm talking about at the time the truck hit them. Were you on site?
Yes.
What time did you arrive at the site?
Around by 8:30, somewhere around there. It was day, it was sunlight, it was morning.
In the morning.
Yes.
So you were on site for about 4 hours before this truck impacted your power lines.
About three, somewhere around there, I guess.
Okay. What'd you arrive in?
My work truck.
And what's work truck look like?
It's a small bucket truck.
Okay. Would you recognize a picture of it if I showed it to you?
Yes.
Let's see. Tell me if you can see this bucket truck.
Yes.
Is that your bucket truck?
Yes.
Now I noticed, have you seen this video? The one you're looking at right here? You see the one I'm moving?
I see the picture. It's not a video.
Yeah, it is a video.
Okay, I see it. And yeah, you clicked it now. Okay.
All right. Is that your truck?
Yes.
Notice that the lights are flashing.
Mm-hmm.
You see any cones?
Not on that side.
You see any warnings?
Nope.
All right. Have you seen this video?
I saw the picture. I haven't saw a video.
I'm not asking you if you've seen it right now in this deposition. I'm asking if you looked at it at any time in your life prior to today.
I saw a picture of my truck. I haven't saw the video.
Yeah,
I
and
saw a picture that was taken behind the truck. I haven't saw the video.
not asking you about right now. I'm asking you, have you seen
I'm
it?
talking about not right now.
Okay, so all you've seen of this video is a picture.
Yeah, I haven't saw the video of my truck. I just saw a picture of my truck.
Okay, let's watch it.
Oh! Get back! Holy cow! Holy cow! They just hung that line. Yeah. Oh my God! We're done now. They just tore them down. Holy cow! There's 20 shut down now. Holy smokes. That's it. We're going to be out here for the next 24 hours at least. Holy smokes.
Now, is that the first time you've seen that video?
Yes.
Okay, now you didn't see any cones out there, did you?
No.
You didn't see any warnings?
No.
Is that your bucket truck that's in right there?
Yes.
Who's in there with you?
I'm in the truck myself.
And you've been doing what since you got there at 8 o'clock in the morning?
Assessing on the damage.
Okay. It took you 3.5 hours to assess the damage?
It took me however long it took to assess the damage. When that happened, I had already assessed the damage and I was in the truck making up work orders.
Okay. Why had you not called to shut the highway down? Why had you not called someone who has authority to shut the highway down?
So our power lines, I thought our power lines were secured in the air. Our primary and our neutral.
Now, your power lines were being held up by a tree.
Still secure up in the air.
By a tree.
In a big tree.
I don't care how big it was. Your power lines were being held up by a tree.
Yes.
And do you think that's acceptable over a U.S. interstate highway?
That was my opinion. It was safe until that truck hit the cable.
Well, hold on about safe. It obviously wasn't safe because the truck hit the cable. Is that right?
Nope.
Well,
Oncore power lines are safe in the air.
Who did you call to report that the power lines and the cable lines were dangerously low over the United States federal interstate?
I didn't call anybody.
Right. And you had notice of this before you got to the scene, right?
Notice what? That the power line poles was broke?
Yeah.
Yes.
So how long had Oncore had noticed that these lines were a problem? How long had Oncore had noticed that these power lines were a problem?
I'm not understanding the question.
When did Oncore first learn that these were a problem? There had been damage.
After I made up my work orders and sent the work orders, that's when they learned.
That's not true. You went to this scene because they knew there was a problem. They didn't send you to a location where there wasn't some problem. Isn't that true?
I went to the scene because of an outage. When I got there, I saw the poles was broke.
Right. And Oncore had noticed from the moment that they knew there was an outage, right?
I don't think Oncore knew it was an outage. They don't know the damage to the outage.
Oncore knew there was an outage from the moment it occurred. Is that fair?
Yes.
And that was about 4:45 in the morning, according to the weather report that I just looked at over lunch. Is that?
I don't know about the times. I don't know what time I got out there.
Well, you said you got out there about 8 o'clock.
About 8:30, it was morning. We can see that on the picture.
Well, that picture there is at 11:50, nearly lunch. You understand that?
Yeah.
Have you seen the police report in this case?
No.
Okay. So your truck sat in that position with the bucket truck for over 3 hours while traffic just kept driving under these lines.
Yes.
And you don't know if they were energized or not, do you?
Yes, I know they wasn't energized.
How do you know that?
Because I was out there on the outage. We had outages from the storm, from the broke poles.
You didn't do anything to test the lines to see if they were energized?
I walked the lines out. The lines was dead.
How do you know they were dead?
And we had outages at houses. The whole north side of the freeway was out of power.
I understand that 88,000 people were out of power as a result of this storm. Is that right?
I don't know.
How many situations are you aware of where dangerous lines are crossing a U.S. interstate?
I don't know.
And were you the one in charge of the scene for Oncore?
I was in charge of assessing the damage, making up work orders for Oncore. I wasn't in charge of the scene.
Well, what Oncore knows is dependent on what you tell them. Isn't that true?
Yes.
I'm going to show you another picture here. Do you see that picture?
Yes.
Did you take that picture? Did you take that picture?
No, I didn't take that picture.
Did you take any pictures?
Nope.
Do you know whether or not that picture was taken before or after the truck hit the line?
Nope.
You see what that is right there?
It looked like a cable line to me, communication lines.
What's the difference in a communication line and a power line?
I don't know.
Who owns this pole?
Oncore owns the pole.
Who owns the power lines on the pole?
Oncore owns the power lines, not the communication lines.
Oncore owns the whole pole.
We own the pole, we don't own the other equipment that's on the pole.
You have permission, you grant permission or deny permission to who puts their lines or communication lines on the pole. Isn't that true?
I don't know.
That's above your pay grade? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying I don't know. That ain't my decision. That's not my job. So I don't know.
Okay. And I'm trying to understand what your job is. What have you been trained at Oncore about reporting a situation that looks like this, where you got high voltage lines over a heavily traveled interstate?
Make up work orders, turn them in, get the crews out.
Is that it?
That's it.
You see this picture here I'm about to show you? Right here?
Yeah, I can see it.
Is that the big tall tree that you say is holding up your power lines?
Yeah, that's the tree.
Did you do any assessment to see how rotted this pole was?
Nope.
Do you understand what fresh breakage looks like on a wooden pole? Or do you know the difference in a fresh break and rotted wood?
No.
Do you know what was the breaking point at that pole? What was there a device or a clamp put there on that pole?
Nope.
Nope, or you don't know?
I don't know. All I know is the pole was damaged by the storm.
Right, and the trees are where your lines are. Right?
The 3 top lines, correct, is laying in the trees.
Yeah, and you didn't call anybody with law enforcement to shut the road down as a result of your lines being held up by trees.
Nope.
Oncore has to clear the scene. Matter of fact, you have to clear the scene and declare it safe before Charter can work on their lines. Is that true?
No.
It's not. Did you just say that's not true?
I said no.
Okay, so Charter can go out and work on their line whether or not your lines are energized.
I don't know their procedure. I don't know.
And you don't know if Charter can go work on a energized line that's hanging from a tree before you make the premises and your property safe. You don't know?
No.
Did you talk to the Charter people that were on scene
Nope.
with you? You didn't even speak to them?
Nope.
None of them?
Nope.
Did you see all them people on the video? You never talked to any of them?
What video? What people?
The one you just watched?
What people?
The ones walking and talking in the
I
video?
didn't talk to nobody.
All right. You see this picture here?
Yes.
Did you see this at the scene?
Nope.
You didn't even go down there to see what the damage was caused?
Nope.
You didn't go, do you know who any of these 3 men are?
Nope.
Do you see what they're doing?
They cutting a communication wire from around the car.
Okay. And you never went down to see how many cars were impacted by these lines?
Nope.
When did you leave the scene?
After I got through making the work orders up.
And when was that?
I don't know the time.
Well, you didn't finish the work orders till after the truck hit the line, because we can see your car in the video.
I
Isn't that
still
true?
don't know the time.
You were there when the truck hit the line,
Yes.
and you left thereafter.
No, I was still making up work orders.
And how long was that until you left?
Probably another 30, 40 minutes.
All right. Who did you call and report this to?
I didn't call nobody. I send the work orders off, then crews come out.
All right. So let me make sure I understand. You're at the scene for 3+ hours. You watch this thing happen. You see it happen, and you report it to no one.
My work orders is my report.
And I'm going to have to get a copy of those work orders. What do your work orders say about your low-hanging lines being hit by a truck?
Don't say anything. It says what's the damage and what's need to fix it, the damage.
And that's my point. And I'm going to ask the question again. You were there for 3.5 hours. You see this truck hit this line. You see all these cars involved in this collision with the power lines, and you don't report it to anybody.
My work orders is my report.
And you just said it makes no mention of the truck hitting these lines or any of the cars.
Truck didn't hit Oncore lines. No.
Who owns the pole?
Oncore owns the pole.
Who controls what lines are on the pole?
I don't know.
Oncore. Would you disagree with that?
I don't know.
As an owner, Oncore has the right to control who has lines on their pole. Would you agree? You don't know?
Nope.
What was your training regarding requesting a highway be shut down for public safety? Like I asked you, what was your training regarding requesting that a highway be shut down?
No training.
Okay, so you're not trained under any circumstances to request backup to secure public safety.
Nope.
You're not trained under any circumstance to request that the highway department, the police department, the EMTs, the fire department shut down a highway for public safety.
Nope.
It's just not your job.
Nope.
I want to show you this video here now. You ever seen this video?
Nope.
Did you do anything to prepare for your deposition today?
Looked at documentations of and work trouble ticket, work orders, the work orders.
Did you bring them with you?
No.
Where are they?
Emails.
Do you recognize this area?
Nope.
I thought you worked around Arlington.
They can be anywhere.
But it's not anywhere though. It's Arlington. Do you recognize it?
Nope.
Recognize that exit?
I can't see the sign. Look like Bourne Road, I think.
Bowen?
That's what it looks like.
Is that in Arlington?
Yeah, Bourne Road is in Arlington.
All right. Do you recognize where you are yet? You see that highline wire going there? Across the interstate?
Not really.
Got my cursor pointing right on it. You still don't see it?
I see something. I don't know what it is.
Well, you don't recognize your own company highline wires? You recognize that?
All I see is a black mark going across the video. So I don't know if it's cable or what.
Trucks are having no problem driving under that, are they?
I don't know. It's a video.
You don't see any of them hitting it, do you?
The cars, I don't see no trucks.
There's a truck right there. You see where my cursor is?
Yep.
Obviously, he just had it no problem going under that wire. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. That's on the police video. There's nothing I can do about it, but there's a Cracker Barrel right there. Are you familiar with the area where Cracker Barrel is on I-20 in Arlington?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to skip past this because it gives me a headache.
Looks like everything that's backed up is westbound. Getting further clarification. Okay.
Did you hear the officer say it's about lunchtime and everything's backed up?
Yes.
Now I'm gonna ask you if you know what overpass this is. Can you read how high this overpass is?
No.
Obviously, it's high enough for these trucks to go under, right?
Yes.
Are you aware that federal law and state law require overpasses to be a certain height?
No.
Are you aware that federal and state law require highline wires, highly charged voltage wires to be a certain height?
Yes.
What height is that?
I don't know.
I thought you said you were trained and aware of it. You don't know how high they're supposed to be?
Nope.
So you're the troubleshooter for the situation that's going on March 13th, 2019, and you don't know how high highline wires have to be over a highway.
Correct.
Okay. You recognize that billboard?
I don't see no billboard.
I got my cursor pointing on it.
Nope.
You don't see it?
I don't see no billboard. I see some black, a truck. I don't see it.
You see these highline wires that follow the billboard right here? You
Nope.
see them?
No.
Look close. See where my cursor's pointing?
I don't see nothing. That could be anything. What you would? No.
Yeah, but it's not anything. It's highline wires. Do you see them
I
now?
can't see it. I see a little lines. Yeah, I see lines. I don't know if they power lines or cable.
Okay. Well, the cable is already gone because the truck's already hit it. I'll represent to you that these are the lines where this collision with the lines occurred. My question to you is, which side of this screen is the tree that's holding these lines?
I don't know.
On the north side or the south side?
I don't know by looking at this video.
I'm not asking you to look at the video and determine it. I'm asking you as the troubleshooter that went out there and walked the lines and investigated it, which side of the highway was the snap pole on?
The snap pole is on the north side.
Okay. And if this is the westbound line of traffic, which side would that be on the video?
It would be on the right hand side.
Okay. Do you see how these lines are sagging lower on the westbound lanes than they are the eastbound lanes?
No, can't tell.
You can't tell?
Nope.
By looking at this video, you can't tell that?
Nope.
Okay. Did you notice it when you were out there supposedly doing a walk of the lines in an investigation?
I walked the lines north of the broke pole, going back to the north into the neighborhood. That's the lines I had to walk out.
And did you notice that they were sagging lower on the westbound lanes?
No.
You didn't even look at the lines over the highway?
Yes.
And you didn't notice that they were lower on the westbound lanes?
Nope.
Did you know that the lines caused wrecks on both eastbound and westbound traffic?
Nope.
Did you know that both lanes were shut down after colliding with these lines?
Yes.
When you were out there investigating, did you go and can you see this picture here?
Yes, I can see it.
Did you investigate that?
Nope.
Do you know what that is?
Piece of a pole and cable and telecommunication wire.
Do you know where it came from?
Nope.
Do you know that that hit my client's car on the driver's side door
Nope.
at 70 miles an hour?
Nope.
And can you tell us what location this came from?
No.
But you do know that this is part of the pole that Oncore owns. Is that true?
Yes.
Now I'm going to show you the car photo. Have you seen this before?
No.
You see all this liquid at the bottom of the car?
Yes.
Do you know that these cables went into the engine of this vehicle?
Nope.
If they had been a little higher, do you know what would have happened?
Nope.
Okay. You never saw this vehicle or these wires?
Nope.
Okay. Hang on one second. What was your training from Oncore about what to do with low-hanging high voltage power lines?
Make up work orders for the
That's
line
it.
crew.
What if the power lines are too dangerous to wait for a work crew to get there?
That's their job.
That's whose job?
If it's too dangerous, repeat the question.
What was your training regarding high voltage power lines that are too dangerous to wait on a work crew to repair them?
That came across that situation.
I believe you. What I'm asking you is what were you trained to do if you did come across that situation?
Make up a work order, wait on the line crew.
That's it.
That's it.
No training at all about some situations are too dangerous to wait on a line crew.
You don't have no choice but to wait on the line crew.
Well, you could have called 911. Is that true?
No.
Why not? You don't know how to dial 911?
Well, no reason to dial 911.
Well, as it turns out, obviously there was. Would you agree?
No.
So this is not a dangerous situation to you?
Well, no reason to dial 911.
And why is that?
That's my opinion. It wasn't. Our lines was in error.
And so you don't care if anybody else's lines that are hanging off your pole are too low to be safe for the public.
I work for Oncore, so I just worry about Oncore lines.
Yeah, you don't worry about the public at all, do you? Will you answer the question, please?
I work for Oncore. I don't worry about anyone else's lines.
You don't worry about the traveling public either, do you?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Then what did Oncore train you to do to secure public safety?
I make up work orders and get the line crew out there to fix the problem.
Okay. Did they give you any training about high voltage power lines that are over a highway that are sagging too low, procedures to call law enforcement to report to them so that they will close a highway?
No.
Did they give you any training about calling TxDOT when low hanging high voltage power lines are a danger to the motoring public?
No.
Did they give you any training about calling local law enforcement or fire departments regarding high voltage power lines that are a danger to the motoring public?
No.
Do you know what the NAC safety code is?
No.
You never been trained on that?
No.
So as the troubleshooter for Oncore, you're not even aware of the NEC safety code regarding the height of high voltage power lines?
No.
Do you agree that there was not proper clearance over the highway prior to the time that this truck encountered the lines?
No.
No what?
I don't agree.
And you saw the video, correct?
Which video?
One I just showed you.
You showed me 2 or 3 videos.
Well, did you see one where a truck hit a line?
Yes.
That one. You got it in mind now?
Yeah.
That line was too low, and that's an unsafe circumstance that caused the truck to hit it. You agree?
No.
So the truck was too tall. Is that what you're saying?
It wasn't our Oncore line.
And ask you if it was Encore's line. Listen to my question very carefully, sir, and I'd appreciate it if you answer my question. That line was too low in danger to the motoring public when it was struck by the truck. Would you agree with that?
Nope.
Okay, what do you disagree about it? Why is your answer no?
Was it Oncore line?
And we're having a communication problem. Let me make sure that you understand my question. I don't care if you think it's Encore's line or not. Are we clear about that?
Yes.
The line that was struck by the truck was a danger to the motoring public, yes or no?
The cable line? Yes.
Okay. That line that was a danger to the motoring public was on an Encore owned pole, correct?
Yes.
On a pole operated and controlled by Encore, correct?
Yes.
On a pole that you were sent out by Encore to assess, correct?
Yes.
On a pole that you were sent out by Encore to repair, correct?
No.
Well, to fill out work orders to get linemen to repair.
Yes.
All of that was under the control and auspices of Encore's ownership of that pole,
No.
correct?
No.
No, you were working for somebody else?
I work for Oncore.
That's what I asked to ask you.
My answer is no.
Your answer is no. Why is it no?
We control Oncore lines on the pole.
Listen to my question. You got to have a pole before anybody can put a line on it, correct?
Correct.
Encore has to repair this pole before anybody can hang their lines on it, correct?
Correct.
Will you agree that this pole, in its condition as you found it, was a dangerous condition?
No.
Will you agree that this pole, in the condition that you found it, that all lines on this pole did not meet vertical clearance requirements?
No.
Huh?
No.
Why is it no?
I don't know the requirements for the other lines that was on the pole. And our lines was high enough. In my opinion, it was safe.
Well, you don't even know the requirements for your lines, is what you just told me, correct?
Correct.
All right. My question is, please listen to it. All the lines on this pole, all of them, doesn't matter who owns them, were not safe for the motoring public in the condition that you found it on March 13th, 2019.
Were they safe or were they not safe?
Were they not safe for the motoring public?
In my opinion, they was.
And how is it that they were safe if a truck contacted it at about 70 miles an hour?
I'm not understanding the question.
Well, you said, in your opinion, it's safe. How can it possibly be safe that a truck traveling at a 70-mile-an-hour interstate contacts a power line or a communication line? How can that be safe?
Again, Oncore lines was safe.
Did somebody tell you to say that Encore lines are all you answer questions about, and if it wasn't an Encore line, that's it? Is that what you've been instructed?
Encore lines were safe.
And I'm not asking about Encore lines. I'm asking about lines on an Encore pole. You understand the difference?
Yes.
Now I'm asking you if all the lines on Encore's owned and controlled pole were safe for the motoring public on March 13th of 2019.
I don't assess other companies' lines. Encore lines were safe in my opinion.
So your opinion is, even if you see an unsafe situation, you have no duty to report it, even though it's an Encore owned pole.
Again, I assess Encore lines.
Who assesses Encore property?
I don't know.
You don't even know who's responsible for assessing Encore's property like a pole?
Nope.
That wasn't your job to assess the pole damage?
I assessed the pole damage. The pole was broke.
Well, wait a minute. I thought you said it wasn't your job to assess pole damage.
You said, well, I misunderstood the question. I assessed the broke poles.
Oh, so it is your job.
To report the broke poles, yes.
Can you see this document here?
Yes,
Who's Terry Whitehead?
that's me.
Right. So you wrote this.
Yes.
And right here on the bottom, not enough time today. TxDOT is shutting down I-20 at 9 a.m. tomorrow to make the following road crossing.
I didn't write that.
Oh, you didn't write that. I thought you were Terry Whitehead.
Yeah, but I didn't write that bottom part. The ticket got updated later from the cruise. I didn't write that bottom part.
Well, clearly in the records of Encore, they know how to get I-20 shut down. Would you agree with that?
I didn't write that.
Who's John Nolt?
I don't know.
He's with TxDOT, and there's his phone number. You have access to these records?
I don't.
We want to shut down I-20. Wire is floating, laying in a tree. That came straight from you.
No, mine stopped at drive to.
Nobody else from Encore went out and looked to see that their wires were laying in a tree but you. Isn't that true?
Yes.
So if you gave misinformation that was interpreted by other people later, your misinformation was put out by Encore to law enforcement about shutting down the highway. Isn't that true? You don't agree? Tell me who else besides Encore knew that these lines were laying in a tree?
I'm first on the scene. Then when I make my work order up,
Okay.
got the damage.
I want to turn this off so you'll quit looking at it for the answer. And I'm asking you, who at Encore knew these lines were in a tree besides you? Who had personal knowledge of the lines being in a tree besides you?
I don't know. I don't know.
Are you aware of anybody?
No.
Right. So as you're sitting here today for your deposition under oath, your testimony is you're the only person that you know of that knew these lines were in a tree. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Now, who made the decision that there's not enough time today and TxDOT's going to shut down the I-20 tomorrow?
I don't know.
Well, this is not Charter Communication making this communication, is it?
I don't know.
It's Encore.
I don't know.
Really? You don't recognize your work orders and your company logo? I ask you if this is Encore making these orders.
I don't know.
Do you see this logo right here?
Yes.
What does it say?
Encore.
Okay, it doesn't say Charter Communications, does it?
No.
So somebody is putting on work orders that we need to shut down I-20 from Encore. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Who's George Babak?
I don't know.
Babbitt George. Do you know who that is?
No.
Here's another one. And this one is written by Terry Whitehead.
Mm-hmm.
That's you.
Yes.
Again, John Nolt's phone number for TxDOT, and when we want to shut down I-20. So somebody has already talked to him about shutting down I-20. Isn't that true?
Yes.
And because the wires are laying in a tree.
Yes.
And you are the one that generated this work order.
Yes.
Access poles from the church parking lot. This happened at the church by the parking lots where you were parked, right?
Yes.
Drive to John Nolt, TxDOT, and here's his phone number. You're telling me you didn't write that?
I can't remember.
Mm-hmm. Who's Randy Woods?
I don't know.
It's clear from these work orders that Oncore knew I-20 needed to be shut down. Would you agree?
Nope.
What's no about it? Why is it no?
That's my answer. No.
Why? Explain it.
That's my answer. No.
I understood that. Tell me why it's
That's
no.
my answer. No.
And I'm asking you to please explain your answer.
That's my answer. No.
Are you refusing to answer?
I answered your question. No.
Why is your answer no?
You asked me, do I agree? And I said no.
And I'm asking you now, why is your answer no?
I don't know. That's my answer.
Do you see this work order here, written by you, Terry Whitehead? Still not enough time. TxDOT shutting down 9 o'clock tomorrow. Somebody has talked to TxDOT when this entry was written.
Wasn't me.
Wasn't you?
Nope.
Who would it be?
I don't know.
Show me where I can find out who wrote that on this order.
Can't do it. I don't know.
Okay. So other people, you told me you're the one that goes out to assess and troubleshoot and write the work orders. And now you don't know who it is that can alter and add information to your work orders?
Nope.
What does this mean to you, fire call or emergency?
It's a fire call or emergency ticket.
And what does that mean?
It's a fire call or emergency ticket.
I know, but what does that mean?
It's an emergency ticket.
What's the difference in a regular ticket and an emergency ticket?
A regular ticket don't have a fire call on it.
Do you see right here where you say pole snapped, laying in a tree, unsure of sparking or arcing?
I see it.
Is that what the circumstance was when you got there at 6:18 in the morning?
Nope.
Who is this making this detailed Oncore event?
I don't know.
Do you recognize this number, T3992443?
Nope.
Would you agree with me that at 6:18 in the morning, Oncore had notice of this activity and they did not know whether there was sparking or arcing of their wires?
I don't know.
Do you see that they had notice of the damage to the poles?
I don't know.
What does it mean to be in the work queue?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No,
Isn't that your job to know? Who would know if you don't know?
I don't know.
Is that what you're going to say to all my questions now is you don't know? Tell me who your supervisor is on the day of March 13th of 2019.
I don't know who was on duty.
Doesn't matter. Well, who was your supervisor? It doesn't matter if he was on duty.
I don't know who was on duty that day.
Who'd you report to?
Dispatch. Give me my work orders.
Yeah, I'm not asking you who gave you the work orders. I'm asking who was your
You
supervisor.
asked me who I report to. This dispatch.
Who's your supervisor? I'm gonna write his name down. What is it?
I got like 4 or 5 supervisors.
All right. What are their names? I'm gonna write 1 through 5.
Mike Anderson.
Mike Allison,
Anderson.
Mike Henderson,
Anderson.
Anderson.
Yes.
Okay. What's his title?
He the boss. I don't know what his title is. I guess he over the other 4 supervisors.
Okay. Who are they?
Kyle Smith.
Kyle Smith. Who else?
Toby Hubbard.
Kobe or Toby?
Toby.
T-O-B-Y? Toby what?
Hubbard.
Okay. Who else?
Brent Herring.
Brett Herring. Anybody else?
That's it.
That's only 4.
Mike, well, it's just 4.
And were any of them on the scene of the 3/13/19?
No.
Did you call and consult with any of them?
Nope.
Which one of those are, if all of them provided you your primary training?
None of them.
Are any of them managers?
Yes.
Who is a manager?
Mike Anderson, I think he's the supervisor, type manager, something like that.
Okay. Who is the management at Oncore?
I don't know.
Who runs the company?
What, the CEO or
Well, that'll be a good one to start with.
Mr. Nye?
What's his first name?
I forget.
How do you spell Nye?
NYE.
Okay. That's the CEO, Mr. Nye, right? Who runs the daily operations?
I don't know.
Who runs the operations where you work?
I don't know.
Where do you work?
Out of my truck.
Okay, and where do you take your truck to fuel, get repaired, get replaced?
Gas station. Mechanic shop.
What's the address that you report to at Oncore?
I don't report.
You don't ever go into an office or a
I
building?
don't have to. I get in my truck at job site reporting.
Okay, so the only place you work at Oncore is out of your truck?
That's correct.
Okay. Where does your supervisor work?
In Fort Worth.
What's the address?
2118 Sylvania Street.
Okay. Sir, do you have any criminal history?
Nope.
You ever been arrested?
Yes.
You ever been convicted?
Nope.
Okay. Do you have any higher education training?
Repeat the question.
Do you have any training past high school education?
Besides my training in Oncore, nope.
Do you have any certifications at Oncore?
Yes.
And what are they in?
CAPS.
Would you tell me again what that is?
CAPS is 5-year CAPS training.
Okay. Who trained you?
Oncore.
Yeah, that's the company. Who specific?
I can't remember the names.
Do you have to do updates on your training?
What kind of, repeat the question?
Do you have to do updates on your training?
No.
So you do the 5-year caps and that's it?
Yes. We have safety training and all that type of stuff. So, but once you're through with the CAPS class, it's after the 5 years, finished.
Okay. And how long ago was it when you finished the caps class?
I don't know.
20 years ago?
I don't know.
Well, you worked there 29 years.
I don't know.
You worked there 29 years, is that right?
I can't recall.
Well, you told me earlier in the deposition you worked there 29 years. Is that right?
26.
Okay, 26. So did you have to finish it? You do your CAPS training early on in your career, right?
Yes.
So let's assume you did it in the first 5 years. It's been 21 years since you've had any training?
No.
Well, you said once you do your CAPS training, that's it. Is that what you said?
Yes, you finished with your CAPS training, yes.
And so it's been 21 years since you finished with your CAPS training.
21 years.
Yeah, you said 26. You've been working there 26 years,
Yes.
5 years of CAPS training, right?
Yes.
I subtracted 26 from 5, and that's 21 years since you've had any additional training.
No.
No? What other training have you had?
Well, the training happened early. It ain't been no 26 years, 21 years, or whatever you're trying to say.
How many has it been?
I don't know.
Okay, that's what we got to figure out. You had your CAPS training
I don't know.
early in your career, right?
Way earlier.
Before you started working there.
No, after I started working there.
All right, so the first 5 years you're in CAPS training, true?
No,
When are you in CAPS training?
I don't know.
Who would know?
I don't know.
If you don't know, who would know?
I don't know.
Okay, CAPS training was 5 years. When did you do it?
I can't recall. It's been so long ago. I don't remember.
Right. It's been over 25 years, hasn't it?
No,
Been over 21 years?
I don't know.